What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a new daily news video coming off um, a confusing result against Inter, I might say, because the opinions are they vary among fans and even among people in the club, players and coach. Now, they could be lying, any of the group I'm talking about. Is it the players? Is it the coach? Is it, not putting pressure on the team, but then when your players come out and actually put the pressure on you, you kind of look like like a fool out there because the players you're trying to protect, being Allegri, are coming out and saying basically we don't need to be protected because we know what we want and we know what we potentially could do. So that's what we're going to talk about. The players believing in the Scudetto, Allegri refusing to speak that into existence, I guess. Before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification if you are new as well, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so like I said, the video is about what Rabiot had to say against, like, versus what Allegri had to say, and before I get into it, me myself, I don't believe in the Scudetto. Weirdly enough, I do believe more after yesterday's game, and that's purely based on what I've seen from Inter rather than what I've seen from us. Because I still think Inter are not clicking, and they have a few more gears to go on to. Maybe it's one, maybe it's two gears. I don't know. However, I do believe that's the case. I do believe they have another gear to jump onto, basically to kick in. However, it's match day 13 now, or like 14 is coming along the way, and they haven't done that, in my opinion. So it's basically it's 1/3 of the season now, and that's already quite a lot. So my point is, or my train of thought is, when is Inter gonna kick into that gear that I think they could, considering the squad they have compared to the other teams in the league, basically. If it's not now, is it then around January? But then again, Champions League, injuries, whatever. It's I thought they would be looking much better right now, much more dominant right now, and they're not, and that gives me a glimpse of a glimmer of hope, basically, which I didn't have at all before the game. And I'm not saying we need to win it because, like, you need to, like, Juve, like, if you can win it, you win it. You need to win it. However, we're not the favorites. We were not the favorites at the start of the season. We're not the favorites now. And if Allegri pulls it off, I'll give him massive credit because I don't believe he can. And that's not because of his ability. That's also because of the squad we have. Like, my prediction wasn't winning the league, never was. And even at that moment in time, I don't think we are in that position. However, I have more hope after that game, and that's weird because it doesn't really have anything to do with us. To be honest, it's what I've seen from Inter, in that game, and even up to this point into the season. Now, after the game, Allegri was very clear, even Giuntoli before the game, saying, "Scudetto, I don't even want to discuss that word. I don't want to hear it because it's absolutely not an option for us. It's top four," and he was making calculations, looking at place fifth, which at one point, at the beginning, was like, okay, I'll get it, all fun and games. But now it's getting a bit weird because I don't know how many points you're off fifth, 9. Like, that should not even be a train of thought anymore. Like, finishing out of top four at this moment in time, that shouldn't even be a conversation, and that has nothing to do with keeping the how do you want to say that, the focus into the club, like into the players. Like, that should be done. You should be able to do that without telling the players, "Oh, look at place fifth." You should find another way to keep these guys motivated instead of just saying, "Oh, we need to look at place fifth at Atalanta or whoever is in fifth position." But what came out after the game, I thought was interesting because first Rabiot came out and he said, "In the locker room, we talk about winning the title, and we believe we can do it." And then 2, 3, 5 minutes later, Allegri comes out saying the goal remains to secure a top spot in the top four. We're +9 ahead of the fifth. And then he went on saying, at this moment in time, the title, blah, 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 the usual stuff. And I was like, okay, you can, like, you can come out there with the idea of, I'm not going to put pressure on this team, on this group of players. And I'm like, that's fine. But when your player, your captain at this moment in time, the player you chose to be the captain, comes out and says the complete opposite and actually putting quote unquote pressure on the group, saying, you know what, we in the locker room, we do believe we can win it. Allegri kind of looks like a fool out there because now you like. I personally thought it was a bit over the top with Allegri because you're in this position, like you should have some sort of belief being the coach, and the type of guy he is, he believes in it. However, you coming out saying that, I was like, okay, fun, up to a certain point, and that point kind of broke or reached its top when when Rabiot said that, like basically, Allegri cannot come out in the following weeks saying the same statements because nobody can take that serious at all. Like, even if there were a few people taking it serious, and maybe you don't believe in the title being Allegri, which I doubt, even coming out and stating it so obvious will look weird because you have your captain coming out saying, we in the locker room, we do believe, and it's up to a point now where Allegri needs to stop saying it because, well, it's out there. It's out there. The group believes they can win the title. Will they win it? Who knows? Like, who knows? Again, the game against Inter, I'll keep saying it. Me personally, it didn't give me any indications from our standpoint we're going to win it. Like I said, the belief is based on Inter still not performing up to their potential, full potential, which gives us a slight chance. Who knows? It gives us a slight chance. But we need to up the gear as well. We need to start playing a more sustainable, not like, should I say attacking? Yeah, like more sustainable attacking style of play where you create enough chances. When I come up every week and I talk about chances being created, I think that was on full display on Sunday. Yes, Inter didn't create any, close to none, but that's our strength. Like, we are so defensively solid. Like, that's how we play. That's our setup. That's the brand of this current team. However, going forward, we don't create enough. Like, we don't look dangerous consistently, or we don't scare teams. We get the wins, but at one point you will need to do more. Even away to Monza, you will need to do absolutely more than what you did against Cagliari, in my opinion, to come away with a good win. Not a shaky win. So from that game, I cannot come out of that game and say, like, oh, from what I've seen from Juve, they changed my mind. We can win it. Because it was everything we saw in weeks prior. We looked good defensively, although that goal was poor defensively. But throughout the game, it looked like the usual Sunday, basically. But moving forward, it also kind of looked like the usual Sunday as well. It's not that we are threatening. It's not that we have, some sort of patterns of play, because we don't. We absolutely do not. Like, if you look at Thuram and Lautaro, they interchange. It's clear, or Lautaro stays around the box and Thuram drifts out. And all these things, we don't really see that. It's more about Chiesa getting in a certain position or trying to make something happen. Even when Kostic plays, like, there's not a lot of overlapping, and when the overlap kind of happens, it's put that cross in right away, and then you look up and you have 1-2 players in the box as usual. Like, it's very predictable, and that needs to change. Like, you need to evolve. After the game, Allegri said we still need to evolve on certain things. I want him to mention the things he wants to evolve. Like he said a couple of weeks ago, decision making, but that goes for every, on every area of that pitch, like defensively, midfield, and all those cases. Also, they talked about the Mercato, him and Giuntoli, and they said we don't really need anything, and your teams are built in June. I'm like, good, but we didn't build the team in June, so you need to build them now. Like it's you need to start building them now, now as well. You can say teams are built in June, but we did it. You signed Timothy Weah and you brought Cambiaso back, and that's it. And Weah has not been here for I don't know for the entire season as well, basically. So fine, I get that you cannot build a team in January. Acclimatize, no preseason, whatever. But looking at the current situation, we definitely need some help. He needs some help. If the club actually believes, and I do think they believe they can win it this season somehow, then you need to help him out as well. You need to give him some quality in that midfield, because for all the issues I have for Locatelli, the difference with Nicolucci was very, very clear. And yes, this is an emergency, but you lost Fagioli, you lost Pogba, and as you can see, one injury in that midfield, be it Locatelli, the difference, the drop off is big time. And that's, I don't want disrespect, but that's for Locatelli. Like, it's not that he is the wow player out of the team, or if you know what I mean. Like, it's one game, but like the difference was clear. Who knows how that game went if Locatelli would have started? Who knows? Because when he came on, it was clear what we were lacking, or what Nicolucci was lacking in certain moments. Clear head, try to calm everything down and keep it simple as well to get us out of pressure. But overall, Allegri kind of has been, put with his back against the wall by his captain, because he he dismissed everything Allegri has been saying, and he basically said the group believes. So Allegri's lying, or Allegri's the only one in that locker room who doesn't believe, which is probably not the truth. It's probably the first one. He is lying, but it's come to a point now where he kind of needs to stop lying. I'm not expecting him to come out and say we are the favorites. Marotta coming out saying Juve are the favorites. Like, that's, nobody believes that as well. That's probably the worst lie of them all, because the excuse of, we play once a week and that's why they're favorites, that's not how it works. We won 9 leagues in a row and we played every 3 days basically, besides the first season. So it's not that a team plays once a week that they're the favorites. Like, that's not how it works. If it were that easy, then we would have had very few titles compared to what we have now. That's not how it works. So a long way to go into the season still. The 2 points at this moment in time, it's not really about points, unless it becomes a big gap, 10 9, then that's big. You just need to stay in and around it, see what potentially could happen in January, and then go from there basically. However, those quote-unquote smaller games, Monza, Bologna, Sassuolo, which we didn't win, these are the games you need to win if you want to be in a title race, because Inter will drop points against the big teams, so will we. It's not dropping too many points against the smaller teams. They did against Sassuolo as well, so it can happen, like, not dismissing that part. However, these are the games that if you want to be in the title race, you need to win, and you also need to win kind of convincingly to try to build some trust, because I don't think we're gonna, narrow every single game with a simple win or a narrow win. So are we in a title race? Too early. If we are 5 points off the top of the league in April, then yes, we should be in a title race. You need to make that very respectable, and you need to battle for it. Now, it's too early. It's just about staying as close as you can to Inter at this moment in time, because this is a tough month, December. Monza, I don't know the order. It's Monza, it's Frosinone, it's Roma, and it's Napoli. It's probably Roma, or it's probably Napoli, then Frosinone, and then Roma, or something like that. But it's a tough away game. Monza is not easy away. Frosinone won't be easy away. Napoli at home won't be easy. Roma at home won't be easy. You should win that game. But, like, they're not, here you go games. You're going to battle. You need to battle for it. And I think this month is going to tell us big time how good we potentially are, and how we will be, shaping up in a title race. But let me know in the comments what you think. Is Allegri lying, which I think he is, or are the players lying, or are the players being not realistic at this moment in time. So let me know, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later today.